Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I made my bearish breakout screener. So that's a screener that shows you how to find stocks that you can short for a profit. Let's get straight into it. Aka the NocTrader, your friendly neighbor swing trader, back again with another video. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the NocTrader on all social media platforms. And if you check that description section below, you'll see a link to my mailing list. I've also got a Discord group called Pip Talk, where all like-minded traders and investors are welcome to join, where we talk about everything and anything to do with trading and investing. So I previously made a video a while back about how to pick winning stocks, and it was very well received. People always ask me, why didn't I use the pro screener? Well, I didn't use the screener because I didn't know how to use it, if that was the honest truth. So I really dug deep and I delved in, thanks to Wayne, who kind of encouraged me to look into the pro screener, and I've actually found how to utilize that tool. So I've actually made another video on how to use the screener if you want to check that one out. But this video I want to really talk about how I made my own breakout screener, and I coded it out myself. Well, I didn't kind of code it out myself, I got a bit of help, but I'm going to show you all of that right now. So this is the end product. This is the NocTrader bearish breakout screener. I'm going to share it with you in the link in the description section below, and I'll also share it on the Discord group. Actually, scrap that. I'm not going to share it in the description section below because only the Discord group members are going to get access to it. So join the Discord group if you want this screener. What this screener does is that I was looking for a screener that could show short positions. So positions that were selling off and I could short into a breakout to the downside. Kind of like the opposite of a bullish breakout, but yeah, so when there's a position was getting really low, I wanted to kind of short it into a breakout and make a profit. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So Overstock was the stock that really caught my attention and made me think maybe this is a strategy that I could turn into a screener. So what I saw was that this stock had been selling off. The company hadn't been doing well. I don't really know much about the fundamentals, but you can tell they're not really doing well. It bounced off of this previous support, which was this most recent low, came up, and then it kind of retested it again. Now at this point I thought this is a good place that you could potentially short, because if it breaks this line it's going to sell off emphatically, and that's exactly what it did. It sold off, and in a matter of 3 hours it was 100 pips down. So that would have been a great short play if I could identify other stocks like that. So then I thought, how can I reverse engineer a screening tool that will allow me to find other stocks that are in a similar position to Overstock? So step one, I thought I would use Finviz to try and really get an idea of what I was looking for and fit some criteria that would match the type of charts that I was looking for. So what I did was that I created picked the criteria that I thought were relevant to that chart. So I thought, okay, price needs to be over £2 because I don't want any penny stocks. Price needs to be below the 50-day simple moving average. I'll explain to you that why I did that in a second. And then price needs to be above 0 to 3% above the 52-week low. So if the 52-week low was the previous points that we seen before, then it needed to be slightly above it, so that it needs to break down into the 52-week low. There's no point us catching a stock that was already below the 52-week low, because then most of the move would have been lost. And then I'm also gonna pick average volume over 50k, over 50k. This is just so that we don't have any stocks that are really low volume stocks, because you just don't want those ones. So now that I've got my criteria, what I did was I went into charts and I started looking at all these stocks that fit these criteria, just to see if the patterns were kind of what I was looking for. And yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to find. Stocks like this, where they bottomed out, they come back up, and they look like they were about to sell off and then go down even more. So ASIX. So the reason why I chose price to go under the 50-day simple moving average is because the 180-day simple moving average that I normally use is quite loose. What I mean by loose is that it moves quite loose against price, so it's less reactive to price. But the 50-day simple moving average is quite tighter to this price, so you'd find it hugging price more than the 180-day simple moving average. So if price is below the 50-day simple moving average, that could help us be an indicator to show that price was probably selling off. It's obviously not going to be a good indicator on its own, but with the combination of all the other criteria that I put, I thought that I could find a good shorting opportunity with those criteria I set. So just to give a visual representation of what I meant, as you can see here, the blue line is the 50-day simple moving average, and unlike the 180-day simple moving average, it moves more tighter to price. So when price is below the 50-day simple moving average, that's part of the criteria. So as you can see from this chart, which is the Overwatch, if this is the 52-week low, then price needs to be above the 52-week low, but like 3%, 0 to 3% above the 52-week low. So then it would mean that price would need to be in something like that type of range, and then it need to be below the 52-week low. So that means it would need to be somewhere like there, and then it also need to be and then the last criteria that I wanted to add, but I couldn't add on Finviz because it doesn't give you the option to do that, is that I wanted it so that the MACD was in positive, it was above 0, because once the MACD is above 0, then the histogram is green, so the MACD is above 0, and the previous period was higher than the current period. So that would mean that if the previous period is higher than the current period, that means that the MACD histogram is like, the MACD line is about to cross over the signal line, and is closing in on negative territory. So I wanted the MACD to be in the green histogram area, but slowly descended into the red area, because then that would, all these indicators together would probably help me find a stock that was selling off close to new lows, and potentially could break out of a support line to make a short. So without going into much detail, I spent hours just teaching myself how to code, cramming. Okay, let me not lie, this is what really happened. So the truth is, I tried to code it myself, but I found it really hard. I took some of the training courses on Pro Real Time, but I'm not a natural coder. I'm actually getting better at it, but it was quite hard for me to do, and I thought it would take me a couple hours. So I posted it on the Pro Real Code forum. If you don't know about Pro Real Code, it's a resource library for people to create their own screeners and indicators that they can input on Pro Real Time and use, and people share their ideas with each other. So I posted my criteria, posted what I was trying to do, and then a lovely gentleman called Roberto helped me code it up. Now there were certain changes that I needed to make, but anyway, he got most of it done for me, and then I tweaked it, and then I got the final product. We got there in the end. After a bit of long nights, I ended up coming up with this code, and it's the NocTrader bearish breakout. You know how to name brand it. And if you look at the code here, what it is just that you need a 52-week low. Price needs to be above the 50-day moving average, but price needs to be above the 52-week low, but below the 52-week low times 1.03. So it's just between 0 and 3%. Basically, it needs to be above the 52-week low and below 3% above the 52-week low, so that's in a little range just before it breaks out. And then the volume needs to be above 50,000, just to stop once again, just to stop penny stocks, and also price needs to be above 200 just to stop penny stocks as well. And then what I did here was I ended up working out, this is the code that I did myself, so I'm proud of this. I found that what I needed to do was that make the MACD of the previous period higher than the MACD of the current period, and the MACD of the current period greater than 0. So that made sure that the MACD the histogram was in green and it was about to curve in. And then once you got all that, we had the screener. Now here's the good part. This is the screener. These are all the different stocks that it came up with once you got in the screener. Some of them were good, some of them weren't. But then after scrolling through them and picking them out, I actually found 2 great stocks that I wanted to short. Now one of them has already started selling off, but I shorted this on my demo account because I just didn't want to short both of them, because I wanted to make sure this strategy worked first. So one of them is doing pretty well, and the other one I've actually just shorted today. So we're going to see how this plays out. But this is a good test. I've shorted this with my real account here. So hopefully if this does well, then it shows, it's kind of testament to the fact that this screener works. And that means that I've got like a successful strategy that I can share with you guys to utilize to find good short plays. So I'm hopefully going to short this into the breakout of the support line, and hopefully we'll carry on selling off into the next week. But I'm going to be following this. I've actually written a blog about the process as well. If you want to check that out, it's on the NocTrader.com website on the blog section. And yeah, so hopefully you found this quite interesting. I found it a really laborious process, but I'm really happy I did it, because now I can actually find great setups without having to manually troll through different stocks. But yes, Any, aka the NocTrader, signing out.